Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's the Firm Report. Pat Hilton and Zach Hoffman in the house. Zach, what's up?
What's up, Pat? How are you doing today?
Oh, just wonderful, my friend. It's good to be back. Zach was on a wonderful vacation with his beautiful family. How did it go?
It was awesome, man. I'm glad to be back. Definitely traveled a lot of places. Went to North Carolina, and then from North Carolina went to the great city of Boston. From Boston up to Maine. Went to Bar Harbor, Acadia National Park, and then worked my way back down. All the way back to Boston for a few days, man. Awesome city.
You got to
love
Boston.
You know who was in Boston? You know what legal advertiser I saw in Boston? You'll never guess.
Who was
Give
it?
you one guess.
Savannah Bananas. Oh, legal. Legal. Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan & Morgan. All over the billboards, man. Yep, definitely was out there, even in Boston, Massachusetts.
Every single time I'm on a plane, I was in Nashville while you were gone, and I saw a Morgan & Morgan ad in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
They're all over the country. So now I've seen him in Scottsdale, Nashville, and now you just saw him in Boston.
Yep. I don't think they're leaving a place unmarked off the map here. So.
They're savages.
They're savages, but, definitely we're talking to a lot of attorneys in local markets, and they're getting cannibalized by a national player. It's only because they're not controlling that conversation in their local market. There's only so many conversations they can have at once, so it's fair game for everyone out there.
Local is big. We've been playing the local card ourselves. I've been taking your advice on it. Lots of meetups happening. I stop by, play some guitar, I speak, or I do whatever. Nice. I try to be a part of the local market and advertise that those people need social media videos, just like Morgan & Morgan is doing social media videos. If you want to be like the big guys, you got to operate and market like the big guys. So let's talk about what the big guys are doing this week, Zach. What do we got on the hopper?
It's not even the big guys, right? It's what you can use in your local market, for your local business, for your local law firm to really just, level out the conversation and control the conversation in your marketplace, because not everybody wants to be traveling everywhere, right? They just want to control their market and saturate it. And if you're great enough at it, the big guy's going to back out eventually, right? You would assume so.
Absolutely. And I think that there's a medium that you've discussed on the show before with blogs and social media posts and ads and SEOs and a good website that puts you at the forefront of the conversation, and you can rank locally, but think globally.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities there, and there's a lot of opportunities to have massive impact. And we'll highlight one of those when we go into, our digital creator spotlight. And we'll talk about him for a minute, but I mean, this guy's digital creation footprint could use full analysis.
I love it.
But, to give you a rundown on topics today, we're going to talk about settlement wins and spotlights. So we're going to go to that Instagram leaderboard, then go into topic 2, cumulative settlement posts. So we're starting to see more and more firms do a cumulative settlement post. If you have a week or so, it's a great option to go to. Topic 3, digital creator spotlight, going to Mike Mandel. And then topic 4, telling the story, Morgan & Morgan. And then topic 5, you can't, look past message from Mark Zuckerberg, basically saying he's going to be creating personal superintelligence for everyone out there.
Dude, Zuckerberg is so intelligent and so on point with all the newest stuff. The new technology, the Meta Oakleys are totally sick. I bought a pair. I didn't wear them on here because I got to look sharp for Zach Hoffman. He's very professional, but they're super cool technology. And I think that the leverage of partnerships between products and services and the internet gives people an opportunity to come to the forefront of the marketplace. Like, people are talking about Ray-Bans and Oakleys. People are seeing Morgan & Morgan, and local influencers of the media, man, like the guy that introduced him, the School of Hard Knocks. That guy's got a huge channel. So people are finding products, services, and influencers to connect with and collaborate with to increase the revenue and to rank themselves, like you've been saying on the show.
Oh, for sure. And if, people are going to be funneled into Zuckerberg's, goggle world, his wearables, essentially, that's where the conversation has to be happening. But
and he's smart to say, hey, this brand already exists and they're already successful. Let's install our technology on these legendary sunglasses brands. Brilliant.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, we'll hop to that topic toward the end here and, definitely give it the coverage it deserves.
Rock on. Well, hey, you take it away. Let us know what the game time is.
Yeah, for sure. So, to get into some of the settlement wins we've seen over the past week here on Instagram, Morgan & Morgan holding it down with $100 million settlement, essentially coming out of South Florida for negligent security. Essentially that was a massive settlement, and they have an entire team on that post because I'm sure it wasn't one individual taking down that case. Then you have the Dordick Law Group, once again on the board, $30.3 million verdict with a multiple vehicle collision and disputed liability. So they were able to take this and basically hit a grand slam. Then you have Ellis Injury Law, $10.1 million settlement for a plumbing subcontractor that basically had an electric shock and essentially, impacted their, career for the foreseeable future. Then Mendez and Sanchez out of Los Angeles hitting double-decker $1 million settlements, essentially a rental truck employee backed a box into a client. And then another one was a T-bone accident, and essentially they got to a $1 million settlement right before trial. Then you have Mike Moore's law firm essentially hitting out the park again with another $1 million settlement. And that takes us down our Instagram leaderboard and what we saw posted out there over the past week.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, those statistics alone are so worth broadcasting, and your business page, I want everybody to remember this, that your business page and your personal page, they can mingle. So you can post as a personal creator and use that content on your business page. John Morgan is incredible at that, dude. He's so good on the camera.
Oh, it's, goes both ways, essentially, there's a lot of, I would say, there's a lot of people out there that are great on camera. It's just a matter of actually getting in front of the camera and taking your reps, but yeah, Morgan's doing it, and so are his sons. So they're all active out there doing that.
It's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of personalization on the profiles as well as, the law firm profiles themselves. And essentially those big settlements being posted could be the tipping point for a consumer when they're doing their, investigation as to whether or not they want to work with your firm and, sign that retainer agreement.
Yeah, and I think there's something to the trust that social media builds. You can't fake it, and that's why we come on here and we do it live. I mean, Zach's busy. He's got a whole setup there at his office. We record stuff and we do virtual stuff back and forth. But coming on the live, presenting people with a weekly update, and putting it especially on Facebook, where you can't fake it on Facebook. You can't juice your personal profile or any of that. And I think that people that are experienced buyers buy from that Facebook profile heavily, and you want to earn their trust.
Well, I'd pivot a little more to Meta, Facebook, Instagram. Then you also have TikTok, you have X, you have YouTube. Everybody's got their channel and their medium that they're, tuning into. So it's really critical to be covered on essentially all of them.
100. Yeah. And so we chop it up. It is.
That's where we come into play.
And that's why chopping it up and sharing it is so fun. And Gary Vee and all these people that we've discussed on here are so good at just doing the content and being the content and then chopping it up.
Oh, Gary Vee's made a name for himself when it comes down to that. But here, moving on to topic 2, essentially we've been seeing a trend right now where there's cumulative settlement posts coming out. So essentially some of these winning law firms are, if they might not have a specific highlight for the week or a grand slam, they're essentially taking, I would say, a collaboration posts where they're highlighting a bunch of recent settlements and essentially bringing it forefront to that consumer that might be looking at their social profile on that tipping point as to whether or not working with their firm. And, go have you for a firm. This could be a week's highlight, a month's highlight, year to date, or even cumulative for the life of the firm if you don't necessarily have as many results as other firms racked up. But essentially, we saw Mike Morris posting a $4.5 million cumulative wins for the past week. And then Dordick Law Group comes out there with a slam dunk post where they essentially say, oh, wait, this was our settlement this week, but here's a barrage of 8-figure plus settlements we've recently had. So, once again, making that tipping point for that decision of whether or not to work with their firm and highlighting these different opportunities builds brand equity through consistent wins and also showcases the power of repetition and the volume of increasing, the visibility of these wins.
Yeah, it's a great job by these people to document it as it goes, to record it as it goes, to put that snapshot that lives forever on their social media. You can't take those wins away from people. We always encourage that anytime, even if you're with your family like you did, you got to earn some time with your family. We earn those moments as entrepreneurs and as business people, and so do these law firms. And so I think it's so cool to see when people integrate the family in and when people share these wins, because it helps the whole entire community and other firms gain the confidence to go out there and get the job done for their clients.
Yeah. And, essentially every settlement adds to the overall perception. So, stacking these is definitely huge for, creating those wins in that element.
Yeah, it's awesome. What else we got, Zach?
So to move forward, we got our digital creator spotlight. So, going out there and looking at different profiles and essentially what people are doing online, definitely would strongly encourage you to check out Law by Mike, Mike Mandel. So essentially he's got 14 million plus subscribers on YouTube. So you can check out his YouTube profile. On TikTok, he's got 10.7 million followers. On Instagram, 1.6 million followers. And on Facebook, 650,000. And his posts are essentially, there's a lot of high production going into them, but it's never too early to start or too late to start. Essentially, he's got some engaging posts such as busting 50 legal myths that people still believe. So, what to do if you're arrested, booby trapping your house, a citizen's arrest, and, many other fun topics that consumers would engage with. He does a lot of effective storytelling. So he does tell stories of real ways actual prisoners have escaped from jail. And this stuff is, engaging to consumers. He has situations where what to do if, and then he also had, another post that was pretty, I'd say funny, world records that can't be broken. But essentially, you got to understand his production is at a very high level at this stage, but he's been building it up over time. And his social media is leading you into lawbymike.com, as well as he has another funnel, IthinkIHaveACase.com, that's tagged up with another influencer, Hugo Lord. But for sake of time, essentially that's a breakdown on Law by Mike. And why this really matters. It builds up consumer trust, volume of interaction, and making people comfortable with his persona and him as an individual.
Dude, it's awesome. I mean, their ability to communicate from the trenches to the public is important. Because people want that backstage access. They want to see behind the mirror. It used to be MTV that provided that for people back in the day. And now that's YouTube and that's Instagram and that's X and that's your website.
Yeah, and I would say Law by Mike is essentially, it's a master class in content strategy and then funneling into, engagement on a landing page. And, essentially his entire website and persona digitally is tied into what he's doing on social media. So, whether it's feeding his local firm itself or even referrals out there because he's that information influencer and, penetrating the public and really getting the attention. Because if you look at a lot of his posts, they've got a lot of content. If you're looking for ideas, I would say there's no shortage of ideas on his social media.
Yeah, I mean, I know that page because I followed him for a while, and he dresses up as like a police officer and puts his suit on and has all these props and has drinks in his hands and boom, boom, and there's flashes and he's getting arrested or arresting people, and he's good. He's very creative with the way that he shoots.
Yeah, but, as we've always discussed, it doesn't really necessarily start there. Essentially he's climbed up to that level.
Of course.
Definitely skill set to, really get it to where it is today.
And he's winning cases, or he wouldn't have any money to fund that. So he's out there putting in the work. Yeah. It's great. What a great lead generation tool. Yeah,
you definitely assume he's winning cases. He does post some case wins as well. But essentially, his I would say creative content is the main gear on all those social media channels.
100%. And I mean, who knows? Maybe his consulting is just through the roof. I love it.
Who knows? Yeah, but definitely I'm sure there's a lot more, under what that social media, influence is creating.
Totally.
To move forward onto topic 4. So Morgan & Morgan, they have a series right now telling the story, Every Case Counts. Every Case Counts is the series. And essentially they lay it out where they tell a story behind a $6.2 million settlement. And they have a mix of not actual event footage, but then they also have the attorney interview, some dash cam footage, and then they also have some plaintiff photos and stories tagged in along with it. The key insights to this is telling the story behind the case is really critical to that end consumer and a loved one that might be making a decision on behalf of a victim. And it highlights an actual case and really tells an effective story. So they take it to a whole new level by essentially, they're posting the $6.2 million settlement, but they're telling you essentially the story, the blueprint that went behind it.
Yeah, and the important thing about that is that's the step-by-step stuff, is that when you show people frameworks, they believe you because then they understand it because you're educating them at the same time.
I mean, look, they're continuing to test like different forms of content, positioning it and really making sure that, when they're posting that it's with intention, but they throw a wide variety of mixes in there. But where we start the broadcast at the case settlements for the week, they never miss, on that, I would say basic.
Dude, it's awesome. I mean, the consistency too, you got to keep up with this stuff. You can't just post one win and then, you go 6 months without posting anything, or people are like, are you still in business? Are you still a company? I think
that definitely happens.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen it before. It's like, whoa, you guys all right over there? You guys paying the bills? So social media keeps you top of sight, top of mind. This guy's showing up. He's ready to do business. If I message the guys, he's probably going to be available. Let's get on a call. I mean, you got to go out there and earn it. And the digital landscape's wide open.
I mean, look, the inflexibility of corporate America has been severely impacted by not posting on social media.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen many players, even, a wide variety of industries just come up only because they're really active on social media. I mean, look at the Kardashians in the cosmetics world. I mean, they essentially sold to the big players for billions of dollars, but essentially they were so active and live on social media that, the consumer wasn't ignoring.
Well, yeah, and they also cross-platformed with E! Or whatever it was, or Lifetime, or whoever they were to do that, Meet the Kardashians. So people had the backstage access. They're consuming all this content off social. So then when you go to social to drive a revenue source like perfume or whatever it is, makeup, well, cool. Of course, now you've got an audience because people want to look beautiful like you look on television. So it all funnels. It's a huge funnel. She's awesome. Yep. I love the Kardashians. I mean, they're get it.
Hey, that makes one of us.
It's hard enough for a player out here. Let them win. All right, next.
All right, topic 5: superintelligence for everyone. So Mark Zuckerberg published a letter to the public when he reported earnings at Meta.com/superintelligence, essentially leveling out that we were, hunters and gatherers and farmers essentially 200 plus years ago, just looking to survive. And now we're at a whole nother, I would say, echelon of humanity where essentially we're being empowered with super intelligence, and it's right on the brink. And essentially all the wearables he's bringing to the marketplace. I mean, look, he's gone through the journey of Quest, which hasn't been, I would say, as successful as some of the more recent wearables. But now he's got the Ray-Bans coming out, and then he also has the Oakley glasses. So he's really taking it to a whole new level when we're looking at, super intelligence. And essentially the biggest thing for marketers and advertisers, if Zuckerberg controls it, it's going to be content on Facebook and Instagram at this stage that's going to be winning the game in a lot of ways.
Dude, Zuckerberg is positioned so prime time to convert for these brands. That's how I saw the Oakley ones, and I ordered a pair, and they're so cool. On the way to Nashville and back, I got all these moments that I never would have gotten at the airport and traveling and walking through the hotel, because all I had to do is hit the button, and it sends it right to your phone. You can just update it straight to Instagram.
Oh, yeah. But, where this plays in for law firm marketing is that content on Facebook and Instagram essentially is not going to be forgotten. Essentially, it could even be tagged into a situation where somebody's in an accident or even a witness to an accident. They could be hit with advertising or even related content at that moment in time. We don't necessarily know where the future takes us, but I think it's showing a lot of clues as to where we're going.
It's awesome. I think that everything's going to just continue to grow where people are connected more and more and more through devices, whether it's sunglasses and a combination or Gary Vee, of course, predicted that everything is going to go to glasses. So
Well,
we'll see.
It's really, what to do, and it's
People will be running into each other. People will be running into each other in their own little 3D worlds.
Everybody's, everybody's going to know who everybody is walking around. Yeah, and also there's an NFL standout, Jaden Daniels, who essentially is using simulating games on virtual simulators. He's the Washington Commanders NFL quarterback going into his second season, but he had a phenomenal rookie year, and they were essentially saying he was live playing and simulating games on hyperspeed prior to ever even playing them. So his secret's out, but essentially that's mind-blowing that this is where we're at in today's world. Yeah,
that's exactly it. And so, hey, adapt. I am. And everybody messaged me and they were like, whoa, that footage is cool. Hey, so get out there and adapt. Find a way to enter it into your content. If you look on my page, I'm using them. And so if you're a lawyer and you're in meetings or you're doing talks or you're even filming just like this, you can film yourself from that point of view and give people that backstage access that builds trust. They want to put themselves in your shoes. You always say, how do we get the customer to be in our shoes and understand? Give them the point of view.
People want to see it. You'd be shocked and surprised. Reality TV wasn't a success and a hit for no reason. So essentially, these meta goggles and glasses, it's going to empower super intelligence for everyone. That's what the Zook is looking for. I strongly believe he's going to be bringing it to everybody.
100%. I'm ready for it. I'm ready. Yeah. I know you're ready, Zach. If people could do one thing this week to tweak their marketing to get an extra conversion, what do you think that thing would be this week?
If you're a law firm, I would definitely be looking at some cumulative highlights of your settlements over the past week, months, or even years to really just make you stand out as a winner and pin it up to your Instagram as, leading force.
Yeah, I love that, dude, because it lives forever. So go out there, get those wins. Check us out. Add me, add Zach. We want to help you out with your marketing, and we'll see you on the next Firm Report. Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Pat. See you soon.